They were Germany's worst floods for decades, reshaping the landscape and shifting German politics. Forged in their wake a massive voluntary movement to rebuild and recover, in the absence of enough government help. We headed for the flood zone with volunteers not exactly fired up by looming elections.
None of the candidates is fully convincing. Somebody was joking, if Angela Merkel would be still up for election, she'd probably win. Because people will say, well, you know, we've seen the alternatives, we better stay with what we had.
This was the town of Arweiler in July, ravaged by the devastating floods. 2 months on, the clean-up goes on, but a bitterness remains.
And the water came from this side. So I was so frightened.
The politicians, they say, have let them down.
We're disappointed that we're alone here with this mess. We just can rely on the volunteers, and this should not be like this.
The floods have taken a political toll. The man on the left is Armin Laschet, new leader of Angela Merkel's party. And this is him sniggering in the background during a speech honouring the flood's victims. Pictures that saw him plummet in the polls. Among volunteers in one flood-damaged home, they had little time for Laschet or politicians in general.
He didn't bring money to them, he only blah blah, and in the background he is laughing with his friends, with his workmates.
What did you think of that?
Very bad, it's very bad.
But Germans must find a politician to replace Angela Merkel. After 16 years dominating German and global politics, she's standing down. The world is losing its most powerful woman, and Germans are bracing themselves for life without Merkel. Even young campaigners against Merkel's party admit it will be strange without her.
She's been the only Chancellor I've ever known. I can't really remember a time before her, so I think it's going to be a really, really big change.
But it is, they say, time to move on.
16 years of chancellorship is too much, I'd say.
Is there anyone to replace her, though?
Yes, of course. We have our candidate, Olaf Scholz. I can show him. So we definitely say that there is someone who can replace her.
And other people say he's a bit boring. He has no charisma.
He is.
He's boring.
Yes, I admit, but maybe that's the German way of politics.
If they want that kind of politics, this is the man for the job. Can you really replace Angela Merkel as Chancellor? Do you think if you got what it takes?
Can we do that later?
It will be a successful election for the Social Democratic Party.
What difference can you make in relations with Britain, do you hope, if you become Chancellor?
We will have good relations between the EU and Britain.
He may not be a man of many words, but Olaf Scholz has brought his party back from the political dead and could soon lead it to victory. He's not known for charisma or political pizzazz, but in uncertain times like these, that may be what Germans are looking for, making Olaf Scholz possibly the man of the moment. If Germans want stolid stability, they may have found their candidate. Just don't expect too much excitement. Dominic Waghorn, Sky News, Saar Louis.